Surprise, Dodgers non-roster invitee is going to make a push for the Dodgers opening day roster. We've got other updates down from Camelback Ranch, some injury news. We got 3 up, 3 down, stock up, stock down at spring training, and also a big update on the Dodger Stadium renovations. That's coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball. Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You got it, Roy, the parade. We got a parade. The Dodgers punch back and head to the championship series. Ohtani starts the 50-50 club. Mookie magic. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone. Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out. What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers show and podcast on YouTube. My name is Doug McKain, credentialed member of Dodgers Media. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Now, if you haven't yet, do us a huge favor. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button. Also, subscribe to our new Discord channel. Definitely do that. We got behind the scenes content. We got exclusive merch. We're going to have Q&As. You're going to have the ability to call in to Dodgers Dugout Live. So if you haven't yet, join the movement. If you want to get the most out of your Dodgers fandom, definitely go and do that. Also, subscribe to my newest YouTube channel, The Big Lead, where we talk about all the hottest stories in the world of sports. Gonna have a big day over there a little after this show, so definitely go and do that. But we are Walker Buehler, Zach Greinke, Yu Darvish, Trace Thompson, Milton Bradley days away. That is 21 days away from Dodgers opening day in Tokyo, Japan. The season is really closing in on it. And I asked you guys over on the X for the Dodgers Dugout poll question of the show. I asked you guys about that final roster spot today. And I asked you which Dodgers player takes the final spot on the position player side. And right now, 15% of you say Chris Taylor, 14% of you say Andy Pages, 50% say Hyeseong Kim, and 21% of you saying Eddie Rosario. So that's very interesting based on what we heard from Dave Roberts today, because Dave spoke to the media just a few minutes ago, and we're going to do a double leadoff today. We're going to start with the Nuggets from down at Camelback Ranch.
Leading off, the hottest story in Dodger baseball.
So the hottest story in Dodger baseball, it's going to be a very busy day down at Camelback Ranch. Roki Sasaki is going to be facing big league hitters for the first time in his career. It's going to be an inter-squad game between the Chicago White Sox. So he will be facing hitters from the Chicago White Sox organization. Dave said this morning that Roki is throwing in the backfield, that he's settling in, that it's going to be good to see him facing hitters, and they are ramping up the intensity with Roki. He's going to hopefully go through 2 innings today, and they're not going to try to get too much out of this. Really, they just want to check off that box. Roki versus big league hitters. Roki continuing to build up, and they want to see him going out there and executing his pitches. The fastball, the splitter, hopefully working in some slider. And they're trying to get him from 2 innings to 5 innings. That really is the process with Roki Sasaki. How do you continue to build up those pitches to get him to 5 innings? And look, I think it's unrealistic to expect him to go 5 innings in his rookie debut, pitching in front of 45,000 fans in Tokyo. That's not most likely going to be the case. If he goes 2-3 innings, that I think is going to be a very big positive step in the right direction. But Dave said they believe in the skill set. They believe in the pitch mix that it plays. But the main thing for Roki is just getting him built up and going from there. And the other interesting things that Dave talked about this morning, one, that when it comes to Hyeseong Kim, he's not a lock to make the Dodgers opening day roster on the position player side. Now, he signed that deal with the Dodgers. He bet on himself because he wanted to compete with the best players in the game to be on the best team in the game. And Dave said about Hyeseong Kim, and he was asked if there's a possibility that he could start the season down at the minor league level as he continues to work on some of these new swing mechanics, some of these swing changes that are going to help him sustain a good batting average, for him to be able to be playable, right? For him, he's not going to hit 20, 30 home runs. He's stolen over 200 bases in his career. He's versatile with the glove. But for him to stick in the show, he's got to use those bat-to-ball skills that made him a 300 hitter in the KBO. And Dave said about the possibility of him starting in the minor league level that there is a possibility that that is the case, that the competition is different over there, just the adjusting. He's going through some swing changes. He could make the transition more sustainable if he starts down at the minor league level, and that he bet on himself to come here and compete. He's, quote, in a competition to earn a job with us. That is all in play. They don't need to make a decision right now. So there really is no question that he's going to have to hit. That is what it's going to come down to. Dave would go on to say the early look at his bat is, I think there is significant adjustments with his mechanics that will play with velocity and movement late, and it's going to help against cutters and sliders, and that's really the big thing. And when I talked to Hyeseong Kim at FanFest, he told me the biggest challenge for him was being able to hit big league velocity. It's very different to hit 89 and 90 consistently than it is to hit 94, 95, 96, sometimes 100. That's going to be the biggest difference. But he has made adjustments. Mookie Betts, we saw him on the field working with Hyeseong Kim and giving him some pointers, giving him some confidence. So I like the fact that he's not just coming here with the same swing, with the same approach that made him one of the best players in the KBO. No, he realizes that he has to make an adjustment before he even plays his first big league game, and that's ultimately going to determine if he sticks. But Dave did say that the buy-in has been outstanding. He has lots of aptitude. He's smart. He's energetic, but it is going to come down to his ability to hit big league pitching. And Dave can say all he wants. Hyeseong Kim he called him Hyeseong Kim a couple times. Hyeseong Kim can say all he wants, but he has to hit. We saw him get his first big league hit, but that was him beating out a throw and getting to first base and flashing that speed. But the ball's in his court. If he can hit, he's going to stick. It comes down to that. Now, Dave was also asked about Tommy Edman, and if Tommy Edman was going to play most of his season at second base, and Dave said that he doesn't know yet. He said he doesn't know yet. He said, I think we have a couple of guys in James and Andy playing center field. We've got Hyeseong Kim in center field. We have Tommy in center field. Just keep him active in the dirt. We know he can play short. We see where Hyeseong Kim develops. He's still going to be in the mix. But I do believe that he's out there, then there's not a lot of downside to him playing second base. So this tells you that Kim is a major domino that's going to determine who's going to be playing certain positions. If Kim can play second base, even on a platoon level, that's going to change things. If Mookie Betts can hold down shortstop and you don't have to worry about playing Miguel Rojas or Tommy Edman there full-time, that's going to change things. Andy Pages still clearly is in the mix in center field. Kim, with the athleticism, the speed, makes sense for him to play some center field as well, but I think that my big takeaway from Dave's comments are this is still very much an open competition down in the Camelback Ranch and early on into the season. And we'll talk about Chris Taylor in a little bit and how he factors into this as well. Now, Dave was also asked about Blake Snell, and Blake Snell, like you guys saw my list. You saw my list to start the season. I had Blake Snell as my number one Dodgers free agent target back in November. He was the guy that I was hoping this team would sign because from a stuff standpoint, when he's right, it does not get any better. And speaking of Blake Snell, one thing he told me this year versus last season when he got to a slow start was he learned a lot about himself, just being thrust into a situation, having a quick ramp up where he didn't have a full spring training and how much he was looking forward to just going through a normal spring training this time around and not having to rush things, because he did get off to a slow start last season. And then what happened was he went on the IL, made some adjustments, and down the stretch, Blake Snell was the very best pitcher in all of Major League Baseball. In fact, you can make the case that Blake Snell is the best second half pitcher in the history of Major League Baseball with the way his numbers pan out. So it's going to be really exciting to see Blake Snell today on the mound, making his Dodgers debut. Dave said about Snell that he's a next level thinker. And what really sticks out about Snellzilla is I think that he's very sure of himself, and it comes with experience. He talks about watching hitters and how they react to pitches. I don't see a lot of that from other pitchers where they study emotions and demeanor, which leads to sequencing. So he said that he's doing a really nice job of getting the lay of the land and understanding the Dodgers culture and how he can make people better. And for him as a manager, that's very, very exciting to see. And he also talked about his bandwidth and how smart he is. And he said he's top tier of players that can focus on their own job and have that openness in the lens to make a point to get to know the coaching staff and the teammates. So I love what I'm hearing from Blake Snell down at Dodgers spring training and just talking to him a few times this spring. I mean, he's downright giddy about being a Dodger. The smile on his face, talking about how pitching in front of Clayton Kershaw was one of the best moments of his career when he threw a bullpen session. And like I said, this is someone who down the stretch last season, final 3 months of the 2024 season, Blake Snell, 80 to thirds innings, a 1.23 ERA. That was the best in Major League Baseball. Had a 38.1% strikeout rate. In fact, going back to 2021, when he tinkered with his pitch mix a little bit, 84 big league starts since 2021. He's posted a 2.72 ERA with a 33.1% strikeout rate and 11.2% walk rate. And I don't want to hear the stuff about not going deep into games. And look, a lot of the reason why the pitch count gets high is opposing hitters foul the ball off on Blake Snell quite a bit just because they can't square him up. So look, I'll plant my flag once again. I think Blake Snell becomes the next Dodger to throw a no-hitter. He did that last season against the Cincinnati Reds. He's absolutely nasty, so it's going to be exciting to see Snellzilla back on the mound. So drop your comments down below. What are your thoughts on Dave's comments about Hyeseong Kim, about Roki Sasaki, about Blake Snell? We've got Noise by Noel Sanchez. He's producing the show today, so he's looking for all your comments. He's looking for all your super chats featuring him during the 7th inning stretch during the show, so be sure to drop some love for Noel Sanchez down there. But we got another leadoff too, so we're doing a double leadoff. And Stan Kasten, he was on MLB Network Radio yesterday, and he revealed some new information about the Dodgers' $100 million offseason stadium renovation.
And once again, I think we will be state-of-the-art. It's going to be a clubhouse that's 30% bigger than it was. The locker room itself is 40% bigger. Every element of the locker room is bigger. Funny, we had to move the quiet rooms, the restful sleeping rooms, to the other side of the locker room because Mookie said the one that he used last year, he kept being awakened by Shohei in the batting cage. So we had to change the geography inside our clubhouse. I told Mookie the other day, he'll be able to sleep perfectly fine now.
I love it.
And yes, we have an extra batting cage. So we did a lot of those kinds. Every space we have is larger, more meeting rooms, things like that. I think we're state-of-the-art again until, 5 or 10 years from now.
Right.
So first thing I want to say from that is if you are a superstar in Major League Baseball that is thinking about the team that you want to commit to long term, just know that the Dodgers spent $100 million just so Mookie Betts can have better naps. Okay, think about that. Think about how committed this team is to putting together the best roster. Of course, I'm half kidding there, but this is just another example of this team doing everything to be the best organization, not just in baseball, but in all of sports. I've said it before and I'll say it again. This Dodgers team, this franchise is as committed to winning as any team in professional sports. You know, I'll say it again. This franchise is more committed to winning championships than any professional team in any professional sports league on the planet. Just look at what they've done the last couple of seasons. 2 years ago, you committed $1.4 billion. You signed Shohei Ohtani, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Tyler Glasnow, Teoscar Hernandez. You made some big additions. Then you win a World Series. A lot of franchises like, okay, we're good. We got our World Series. We might cut some corners. We might cut back on the spending a little bit. The Dodgers did the opposite. Buster Olney was on this show, ESPN MLB Insider, and asked him, hey, is this the most aggressive you've ever seen a baseball team be coming off a World Series? And he said yes, and it's not even close. The Dodgers followed up a World Series championship and an offseason where they committed $1.4 billion with the signings of the best free agent pitcher available in Blake Snell, the best pitching prospect on the planet in Roki Sasaki. You signed the best reliever in Tanner Scott. You brought back your best reliever in Blake Trinan. You signed Michael Conforto for a really nice left-handed bat that gives you pop and solidifies your outfield depth. You signed Teoscar Hernandez back to go out and mash lefties, the fan favorite, someone who was integral to your World Series championship. You extended Tommy Edman. You signed Hyeseong Kim. This organization has pushed all of the chips into the middle of the table. They've taken off the Rolex. They've thrown it in there too. They took the wife's earrings, thrown it in there too. The lien on the mortgage, they've thrown it in there too. This franchise is all in, and this is another prime example of that. But some more details about the Dodgers Stadium, about the Dodgers Stadium renovation is, look, this isn't necessarily for the fans, right? This is not like they're adding seating, and it's not like we're seeing the home run seats or things like that we saw last season, but they've added more quiet rooms, like you said, and the geography inside the clubhouse is going to be very interesting because just being in that clubhouse for the last couple of seasons, it's not a massive clubhouse. It's nice. It's not massive. But to think that this team is going to ratchet it up and add more things to help them win, batting cages, more space, it's just going to help the recruiting process. It's just going to help them add talent down the stretch. And there were some more comments about it from Caston, who said, we're going to have a couple of cages. The locker room and the weight room is going to be kind of more current. Logistically, it will make more sense. It's going to be close. Our home opener to when everything is going to be all buttoned up. So thankfully that they're nearing the final stages of it. So it feels like, I mean, look, they're not going to not be ready for ring day with this renovation, but it's going to be big. Now, Andrew Friedman did say that there was some challenges for it this offseason. A couple of months ago at the Blake Snell press conference, he was talking about, and he said, it's been a huge advantage for us in the past years using Dodger Stadium to have minor league players and players use the stadium. Big leaguers like to train here. Minor leaguers like to train here. Our chefs making breakfast and lunch. Obviously, the weather is perfect in Los Angeles, but this past winter, it was a challenge to make the most of it. So they feel like it's going to be worth it in the end, but it was certainly a challenging off season. And then Dave said about it that, hey, he's excited because the office is going to be a little bit bigger, that they're working tirelessly. But, yeah, so essentially you're getting new clubhouses. You're getting no clubhouse on both sides. You get new batting cages, new weight rooms, new team meeting rooms, new therapy and treatment rooms. So there's a lot that's going to be added. But unfortunately, the fans aren't going to be seeing a ton of that. So feel free to use me this season. I'm going to be inside the clubhouse. I'm going to be asking around to see if I can see these meeting rooms, and whatever I can get footage of, I'll let you know. I'll show you guys, but I'm excited to see what it looks like because, I mean, like I said, it looks pretty nice for sure, but just kind of, you know, I watch a lot of these YouTube videos. John will probably appreciate that. I watch a lot of YouTube videos like Alabama's training facility, Ohio State's training facility. I watch like hour-long videos. I have like no life on the side. I'll watch all of LSU, Florida, Bama. I mean, why do college football facilities look better than the Dodgers? You know what I mean? Like, I hope it looks like full-blown college football where it's just to the nines. I mean, Clemson has the slide. You see how LSU, everything's glowing and stuff. I mean, I don't think it needs to be that flashy and garish, but they were certainly due for an upgrade. And this is the Dodgers, right? I mean, you already got the mansion in Bel Air, but they're just making some upgrades. Dodger Stadium is the perfect stadium. It truly is, and it's going to get even better for the players. So I love to see that. And my man Noel, he dropped a reel over on Instagram, our social media guru, and it feels like the fans, they want to know more about this, but there's just not a ton of information about it.
No, yeah, I think 100%. And just like talking about like the Mookie thing again, like that's just, it's amazing because these players spend so much of their time all year long at the facility, at the stadium with their teammates. I think back to what Muncie said, even for the NLDS, they all want to stay together. He was like, we have all these months to be amazing husbands, amazing fathers, amazing family members, amazing friends, but we're going to be together. So I just think it goes to the Dodgers saying, we're going to have these guys for 5, 10, 15 years trying to win titles. We have to give them the best experience when they're here. So something as small as Mookie waking up when Shohei's hitting bombs, hitting the crack of the bat and saying like, man, I need my sleep, for them to move that all around for him and other players, it's amazing. And I agree 100% too. I think the fans are itching for some kind of first look. So yeah, any type of insight you're able to get, D-Mac, I will appreciate it too. You know, I watch those same training facility videos. I want to see the Dodgers go all in on making like the best state-of-the-art facility for the players.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great point right there as far as just staying at Dodgers Stadium. It's kind of like, you know, in our office here. I mean, we moved to this new studio at Dodgers Nation. We rolled up. I'm like, oh, we got a big TV and a PS5. Okay, let's play NCAA. Let's play video games after. You just want to stay. If you like where you're working at and you're staying there longer, the company that's paying you is probably get a little more productivity out of you. So that's a really, really good point right there. We got some super chats to hit. We got Adrian Salazar, $1.99. It's bump day for Snellzilla. Let's go Dodgers. I'm gonna give you a Dodgers for life for that one. Dodger for life. Mookie Magic, Roki's wife, probably has him on a no torta diet. Okay, I'm gonna give you a bruh first bruh of the day. Bruh. We got to LSU Jones. I'm excited to see Snellzilla on the mound. It's going to be really excited. The Dodgers fans, I think just because, look, he wore a Padres jersey, he wore a Giants jersey. Now he's in Dodger blue. He looks awesome in it. And I think that that's going to be the big difference there. You're going to fall in love with him quick. Kelly Oshiro, Chris Taylor, and Kim both make roster plus Rosario. We'll hit that in a little bit. Carmen Alexander, hi D-Mac. One day closer to opening day. Alex Renteria, Hyeseong Kim, signing better work out for this team. They got rid of Lux for him. Yeah, another bro. By the way, shout out to Gavin Lux. I hit him up yesterday. And yeah, look, give him all the credit, man. He's in a new situation. He said he looked good in red, and it was very odd to see him out there going against the Dodgers. I mean, we've really grown up. We've seen him grow up in this organization. Lux actually started at third base for the Reds going up against the Dodgers, and he hit 7 in the lineup. He went 0 for 2, drew a walk, struck out once. And yeah, we wish him well. We wish him well. He talked about how it was a little weird going up against the Dodgers. He said, I got a good amount of reps at third, just kind of be ready to be whatever. I feel pretty comfortable over there. I played a little bit over there in the minor leagues. It's totally not unfamiliar. So good to see him getting some spots at third base right there. And he seems happy for his new opportunity. So I'm excited for Gavin Lux. It was weird. I mean, kind of all these seeing Walker Buehler in a Red Sox uniform, seeing Gavin Lux in a Reds uniform, seeing Justin Turner basically try to do the go for the Shaq rainbow, right? Towards the end of his career with all these teams. It's not fun to see. Matt Kemp, remember seeing him in a different team's uniform. That wasn't fun to see. So it just happens. Most players don't start and finish their career with one team, but hey, we wish Gavin Lux well. I will say we did get the tweet about the guy that wants to make the Blake Snell the new bruh, and we're working on it. I think Blake Snell's going to be the new bruh. I need approval from Dodgers Nation out there. So we're going to run it by you guys hopefully at some point this week. Okay, so switching gears here. We're going to hit some 3 up, 3 down, and we are going to start with an up. And that is Tyler Glasnow making his Dodgers debut. During spring training, his Cactus League debut for the 2025 season. Now, he retired the first 2 Reds batters he faced. He struck out Matt McKain with a nasty breaking ball and a check swing that was inches off the plate. But those would be the only 2 outs that he would record for the afternoon, as the next 3 Reds hitters would reach base against him. Austin Hayes, he drove home Ellie De La Cruz to make it the 1-0 Reds, and they would gun him down trying to leg out a triple to third. It was the Austin Hayes show yesterday. He went off. I mean, he ended up being responsible for 6 of the Reds' 8 RBIs yesterday, and the Reds won 8-1. But that wasn't the important thing. Glasnow, after his start, he went to the bullpen, did some extra work, and he pitched in 1 inning yesterday. So I think the big thing for Glasnow, and the reason why it's a big up, is that you're seeing him change his mechanics to try to stay healthy, to try to fully realize that potential that he has. And quite simply, when Tyler Glasnow is healthy, when everything's working for him, he's as good as any pitcher on planet Earth. That's how big his stuff is. Just look at the game last season, his start against the Twins, 14 strikeouts on less than 90 pitches. First time they've done that since they were tracking it, right? That's dominance. That's utter dominance. Now, I talked to Glasnow a couple weeks ago about this change that he's making to his mechanics, and he did say it's very subtle. It's tough to identify it that much, but it's to maintain a better spine angle in his delivery. So what he said was he's trying to keep those mechanics synced up to where the upper body isn't flying out. Because when the upper body is flying out on him and the spine isn't intact and straight to the plate, then things start to just go awry for him, and that puts more force on his elbow because he's in the 99th percentile when it comes to extension to the plate. He's a big dude, 6'8", massive pitcher. So all that force and all the moving parts of a guy that size thrown at that velocity, the fact that when it opens up, it puts more awkward force on his elbow, that is what leads to sloppy mechanics. And that's why he started the year so strong. A little fatigue set in, the mechanics start to get a little bit out of sync, and that's kind of what led to the injuries. So he said that, quote, keeping my direction toward home plate on every pitch is hopefully going to help him stay healthy and avoid the IL and be able to pitch for this team when it matters most in the postseason. Glasnow said, when I'm in a healthier position, it's just less effort for the same type of push. So it's just trying to carry through the season. So give him a lot of credit. He's realizing that it's been difficult for him to stay on the mound and sustain a full season. So they actually have something that they can throw in to see if it works. So I'm excited to see it because I do think that the Dodgers considered Glasnow's health this offseason when they signed Blake Snell, when they aggressively pursued Roki Sasaki. In a perfect world, all these guys stay fully healthy, but I think that they've been honest with themselves, knowing that, yeah, they did give him a $136.5 million extension, and that he's certainly as talented as any pitcher on this roster, but they gave themselves some insurance in the event that he can't stay on the mound again. But here was Tyler Glasnow after his start talking about this adjustment that's hopefully going to allow him to have a healthy season.
It felt really good. I didn't think about it. I think that's kind of more for practice. I think it is, Dave hit on it, but a theme of just like, I'm going to try and work on when I go out to the game, just be as athletic as I can. And I looked at a little video, looked good. I didn't think about it, and the mechanics felt solid. Not a huge change. It's more just like how I land, and I don't want to be like super open. It's really not like a huge difference. It's just like a small step for like healthier kind of towards the catcher mechanics, I guess. Yeah, I think once you put like a conscious thought into it, there's always some sort of delay with mechanics. So I think it's fine in practice when I'm working on stuff. I'm not moving full speed, but once I get into the game, just try to forget about it. And like even I think today when no one was on, I felt great. And then when a guy got on first, I hadn't like done much of a quick step in a while, and I was like, oh yeah, I gotta like. So I think there was a little bit more kind of figuring that out, but in the whole, everything was good.
So that's going to be the biggest key, is how do these new mechanics translate to in-game action? And Dave said, quote, he'll be the first to tell you that he gets a little too mechanically driven. And when you're in the big league ball game, it's about executing and competing and getting hitters out. So sometimes you're going to revert to previous mechanics when you're in the heat of the moment, when you're just trying to get guys out, when you got to run on first, or you walk the guy, you gave up a hit, you hit a batter. It's going to take time for him to truly embrace these new mechanics. And the quicker he does that, I think the better it's going to be for himself and the Dodgers. So look, I hear the haters out there, glass arm, You guys heard me last season. That was glass then. This is glass now. And sure, he did go down when he did, but it's not for lack of effort. It's not for lack of trying new things. And I'm very excited to see how this is going to work out for him, because if this does, there's no reason why this guy can't be a game one starter for this team. And from a talent perspective, he's certainly as good as it gets. But our first down for 3 Up, 3 Down, Chris Taylor hasn't got off to a good start. It's very early on, though. Very early on, but CT3, he struck out all 3 times of his plate appearances yesterday. He went 2 for 8 with 5 strikeouts so far during this early Cactus League action. So he's gone 2 for 8, 5 strikeouts. He struck out all 3 times yesterday. And yes, he has commented a lot about the mechanics being better. You're seeing less movement with the bat. And he's talked about the bat path and being more direct to the ball. And look, that's going to be the biggest thing for him. Can he reinvent his swing just a little bit and make key adjustments at this stage of his career when some of that athleticism, some of that quick twitch starts to dwindle because Father of Time is undefeated? We've seen guys in this organization that have had success. They've been all-stars, that have reinvented themselves a little bit. I mean, Justin Turner is a fantastic example of someone that was written off by the Mets, and he goes on to be an all-star for the Dodgers. Turns out to be one of the best hitters in baseball for a good stretch. But then there's guys like Matt Kemp that you thought that, oh, they were, quote, washed, as the kids say. And then he turns it around, has an all-star season, makes some adjustments, shorten his swing a little bit. And then Jason Hayward a couple years ago, the Cubs were paying him to essentially be a Dodger. He turned some things around because he tinkered with those mechanics, shortened his swing a little bit, got the bat to the ball. It was able to prolong his career. You saw Trace Thompson a couple years ago. I mean, there's tons of examples within this organization of guys that have gone through massive slumps where it looks like their career is over, but then they find a couple things in the box and they're able to play a couple more years and help this team win. I think Chris Taylor is at that stage where he's certainly, from a physicality standpoint, he's looking lean. I don't think that he could be taking any better care of himself, but I do think that it's about committing to some different swing mechanics that can allow him to just avoid some of these big droughts. I mean, some of these big slumps, because I think that's where it is for Chris Taylor. If he was playing in the game 7 days a week and getting 20, 30 at bats, right? you could live with some of these strikeouts because you would see the doubles, you would see the occasional home runs. But if he's only getting a couple of at-bats, handful of at-bats per week, and he's striking out during those at-bats, well, that's when it becomes difficult to have him in that role. So I will say that I think that the Chris Taylor conversation is slightly overblown just because, look, sure, if you want to point to the weakest link in a roster that's filled with future Hall of Famers and All-Stars, you can make the case maybe Chris Taylor is that guy as far as his overall production. Let's not forget what this guy looks like when he's right. He hit over 300, 314 to be exact, in his final 6 weeks of play to end last season. But I just think that Chris Taylor could be the Dodgers starting shortstop and hit 100 and they could win the World Series this year, right? There's just so much talent around the Dodgers that you can live with a struggling Chris Taylor that's not going to be getting prominent at-bats, right? He's going to be a bench player that is really a depth piece if someone else goes down, that's streaky and hopefully hits a couple of hot streaks throughout the course of the season. Also, I just don't think that his fate is going to be determined during spring training because they owe him $13 million, something in that range. When you look at some of the deferrals he had, they would have to pay him over $10 million to be done with him, right? He has no options. You got guys that have options, James Outman and Andy Pages, Hyeseong Kim, that can start at the minor league level, right? So I think that, look, if he goes 2 for 30 or 2 for 50 and 50 strikeouts, sure, you can have a conversation about that. But I think that his fate's going to be determined early on the season. May, April, that stretch, to see how he looks in his opportunities, to see who stays healthy for the rest of this bunch, because he's been banged up for the last couple of years during certain stretches, and he's someone that knows the culture, knows the system, has the versatility, can play all the outfield spots, can play most of the infield spots as well. So I just think that if we're looking for a storyline of, okay, every Chris Taylor at bat that he doesn't get a positive result with, oh, that's one more step towards him being DFA'd. I just don't think that's the case. I think this organization most likely is going to bring him into the regular season and utilize the options of the players that can start at the minor league level. But that's just how I feel about Chris Taylor. I mean, look, this is someone who CT3 has been a great part of this organization for a long time. He's close to 10 years of service time. I think that could be a factor as well. And it would be a shakeup to that clubhouse. I mean, you're in that clubhouse, you watch him walk around. He's one of the most respected guys in that clubhouse, and I'd be shocked to see them move on from him in spring training or at the end of spring training. I think that he certainly is getting an opportunity early on in the year. But that brings me to my next up, though. My next up is about Eddie Rosario, the Dodgers killer from 2021, has been turning heads at Dodgers spring training. He hit the first home run of Cactus League play for the Dodgers. And this is someone who's had success in his career. He, at the highest level, the NLCS MVP. Who can forget? Who can forget how he absolutely raked in that series? He put up a absurd 1,647 OPS, a 1,647 OPS in 28 plate appearances in that series against the Dodgers. But I caught up with Eddie Rosario, and we're going to talk about how he can help this team this season in just a second. But I was able to catch up with him last week, and I asked him about his decision to sign on with this Dodgers team and compete for a spot on this roster. And here's what Eddie Rosario had to say.
Dodgers postseason killer Eddie Rosario. First of all, Eddie, talk about your decision to sign with this team.
The decision is easy, man. I got another opportunity to play baseball. I feel great to be in the organization. I know he's the championship last year. I know he got the best player in the world. I went here to see what he do and to try to make the team or doing my work.
Yeah, as far as as your role, we know what you look like when you're at your best. What role are you hoping to earn for this team?
The more possible I can. I'm focused to play my game, to feel the same as Rosario are doing before. That's it, man.
Yeah, as far as how you're feeling this spring, just physically how you feeling, and how confident are you that you can get back to being that guy that you were?
In the last 2 years, I come here late to the spring training. This year I start early. I think it's different. I got more time to prepare, to be ready to the season or whatever I'm going. But I'm happy to be here and the organization. Everybody happy. Everybody tell me I'm happy to see you. They feel great.
Yeah, and you've been on teams that have won World Series that have tried to go back to back. I mean, what is kind of the biggest challenge of accomplishing what they're trying to do here?
The more I can help the team to win and whatever situation. I am a winner guy. I love win. I compete every day. I play hard. That's my game. That's what I want to try to do it here.
Yeah, what have they kind of told you about the kind of role that you could have here? Them.
I don't have nothing yet. I'm ready for everything.
Awesome, Eddie. Thank you so much. And for Dodgers fans, and we saw what you did in 2021, but the great year you're on the good guys now too, man. Thanks a lot, man.
No worry. Thank you, man.
Thanks.
I love the attitude. I love what he said right there. I love how he said that it really was an easy decision to sign with this team. He wanted to see what it was all about. Said the Dodgers have the best player in the world. They just won a championship. And I think that this was a very smart move for Rosario, just because if he can showcase himself playing for the best team in baseball, he can essentially take full advantage of that. If he does well during spring training, another team can come in and try to offer him a major league deal and a roster spot. If the Dodgers have a couple of injuries, then he could continue to get bumped up as far as the consideration goes. What if he just flat out rakes, though? I mean, it's a very early sample size and it's spring training stats, so you got to take it with a grain of salt. They don't mean everything. By the way, I love that. I saw a meme. It was like you're at the fast food place and you're doing the dispenser with the soda, and the guy's pressing like both of them into the cup, and it's like me making too much out of spring training stats and me saying spring training stats mean nothing, and he's pressing them both into the same cup. So yeah, I guess it basically depends on the narrative you're trying to fit, but so far, he's 2 for 7, has the home run, 3 strikeouts, hitting 286 and OPS over 1,000. But like I said, an extremely small sample size. I think the path for him to make this team is guys get injured. He absolutely just goes nuclear somehow. But it's pretty much those two things. I have to admit, like, it's a fun story. It's great to see him having success. He would be awesome for Dodgers depth. And with this team from the position player side, it's not as stacked as the pitching side when you look at everyone healthy and some difficult decisions. I mean, you got Chris Taylor, Andy Pages, James Outman, Hyeseong Kim, Dalton Rushing, guys like that, right? They're going to get their opportunities when they present themselves. But look, this is someone that when he has been right, he's been really good. Now, just a little bit of rewind on him. What happened to Eddie Rosario, for wondering that? Well, you saw that he had in 2021, NLCS MVP, signed a 2-year, $18 million deal after that, and he struggled. He did not hit well in 2022. 2023, though, he did rebound pretty solid. It was a 21 homer campaign. Much better performance there by Eddie Rosario. But the Braves did not pick up that $9 million club option for the 2024 season. He signed with the Nationals. Did not have a good year. Ended up back with the Braves that same year. And he hit just 175. Had a 215 on base, a 316 slug, and 319 combined plate appearances. He actually ended the season with the Mets minor league system, but did not get back up to the majors. So, yeah, the chances of him breaking camp with the Dodgers, they are not high, but it is interesting. It is interesting, and I think it's going to be good to push guys. I think that this organization has increasingly been about meritocracy and making sure it's earned and not given. But he's going to have to absolutely go nuclear. Guy's probably going to have to get injured. We'll see if he even stays with the Dodgers, because he could opt out of his minor league deal before the end of camp. So these are all things to look at. But it's interesting just because, I mean, he is that guy that essentially was the biggest reason why the Dodgers did not go back-to-back in 2021, right? I mean, he just went absolutely out of his mind. Well, that and Max Scherzer making a business decision and his arm passing away. But other than that, it was Eddie Rosario. But great to see the success he's having, and he's just a great guy. I mean, just talking to him, I love the vibes, love the attitude. Now, next down, we got Andy Pages. So going to Andy Pages has not been a great start for Pages. You guys know I bought a lot. I haven't purchased all of it, but I've purchased a lot of the real estate on Andy Pages Island. But he's gone 1 for 8 so far, 4 strikeouts, no extra base hits, had a misplay on a ball that was hit over his head in center field. So hasn't been the best start for Andy Pages. It's still very, very early. I think that for him, it's really just about getting back to that comfortable approach that he had where he was raking against left-handed pitching, getting hard contact whenever the bat hit the ball, and you just got to play solid defense. So that's definitely a major, major reason too. So not a great start for Andy Pages, but I still think that it's early on in camp. I like the fact that he does have options. You don't have to force him on the opening day roster, but look, this is a guy that this next 2 years is going to be pivotal to his success. I mean, this guy has the potential to make $50 to $100 million if he realizes that potential. I mean, he saw the contract that Teoscar Hernandez just signed. The Dodgers need outfielders after this season. Conforto's on a 1-year deal. Is Pages going to take over and be one of those farmhands, one of those homegrown talents that helps this organization for years to come? So little pressure on Pages this season. I mean, last year, the debut was nice. He came up. He was hot out of the gates, but a little pressure on this season because you guys know my 5 stages of a big leaguer. He already passed the first stage, right? It is about realizing that boyhood dream. Second stage, though, is prove you belong. Do you belong? And I think that even though he's had the flashes, we saw the 2 home run game against the Mets, the NLCS. We saw the success he had last year through parts of the regular season. He raked against lefties even during his struggles, but he still needs to prove that he belongs on a big league roster, and is an important spring for him. Now, next up, excited to talk about this guy, Zyhir Hope. Zyhir Hope, buying all the stock. This is that guy. Only 20 years old, the attitude, the vibes, the instincts that he has in the outfield. You see him diving for balls. You see him making a catch against the wall. The bat speed, the hit tool, very, very high on Zyhir Hope. And so far early on in spring training, he's gone 3 for 10. He's hit a home run and a double, just 1 strikeout in 10 at-bats. It's an easy, quick, short, left-handed swing. And this guy has the potential to be a piece for this Dodgers team down the line. And I was able to talk to Zyhir Hope last week, and you can just tell this guy is embracing what it means to be a Dodger. He's excited to be around all these World Series champions and All-Stars and future Hall of Famers. Here's my little conversation with Zyhir Hope.
We are here with Dodgers prospect Zyhir Hope. First thing I ask you, Zyhir, being in this big league clubhouse, you got Mookie and Freddie and Shohei. What's it been like just like bumping shoulders with some of the best players in the game?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's a lot of talent in this locker room, and like everybody good. You know, it's a blessing to be here, man. A good opportunity, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, just coming to work and have fun.
Yeah, and Freddie said when he was addressing the team to make it feel special, to put on this Dodgers uniform. Does it just feel different just to have that across your chest, to wear that hat, to wear that color, and just how it even like affects your game?
Yes, sir. It means a lot, man. It means a lot. It does. Yeah. I'm just excited. I don't even know, man.
Yeah,
I'm just excited to be here, dog.
Sure. Yeah, and you're someone that, I mean, you came over here in a trade, and then you rose up the ranks as far as where they are on the prospect standpoint. What have you learned just being in this system, and how do you think they've specifically kind of taken your game to the next level?
Yeah, it's just passion, man. that's everywhere though. I can't, it's everywhere. Passion, man. We all love the game. We all bond. We all just come to play ball, win. You know what I'm saying? We come to win and just have a good time.
Yeah, as far as your games, is there anything kind of specifically you're working on right now to kind of take it to the next level?
Everything really, it's good. I mean, I'm trying to be a better person, you know what I'm saying? Overall.
For sure.
Just kind of so build everything, I guess you would say.
Yeah, they always say the pitchers are always ahead of the hitters at this part in camp. How's your swing feel so far?
It feels all right.
Yeah.
It feels all right. It's still, I'm going to continue to work, you know what I'm saying? It can always be better, I'm just continue to do me and just kind of build off of what I can, for what I know.
Anything different about your off-season routine, just the kind of stuff you're working on and how you were doing it?
Same thing, condition, lift, hit, play ball, catch a ball. Yeah, same thing.
What was your favorite thing you did this off-season?
Spend time with my family.
Yeah. Where are you from again?
Stafford, Virginia.
Stafford, Virginia. Awesome.
Yes, sir.
All the way out in Camelback Ranch. As far as the defensive side, any things you're looking to fine-tune in that area?
Everything, man. It's everything, man. I want to build. I just want to continue to work and grind and just get better overall, man.
Awesome, man. As far as kind of your number one goal for this season, what would you say that is?
Just have fun, man. Just have fun and just kind of just win.
Yeah.
Win with the boys, man. Just have a good time.
We're looking at your Jordan cleats right here, man. What's your go-to cleat? Is it the 11s? Is it the 3s?
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Everyone's wearing those with the Vomeros, right? Oh, you got some ones too. Those are the ones that came out?
Which one? I don't know. I just saw them on the website.
You need to have Mookie get you a Jordan deal, right? Well, there he is, Zyhir Hope. Buy stock now. This guy's got a bright future, and we appreciate you joining us here at Dodgers Nation. Thanks, Zyhir. Zyhir Hope, straight baller. Absolutely love that kid. Bright future. Of course, he was one of the guys they got in the Michael Busch trade. And look at those guys rising up the ranks. You got Hope. You got Jackson Ferris. I mean, 2 top prospects already. You have Hope there in like the 70 range and top 100 prospects list. So another feather in the cap for the Dodgers scouting department. Okay, next down, we've got Giovanni Gallegos. So Gallegos was a guy that we kind of talked about as someone that has the potential to be kind of one of those sneaky bullpen pieces, a depth piece if a guy goes down. He's given up 4 hits in 2 games, just 1 strikeout. Last season, he missed a lot of time. The numbers were bad. He had a 6.53 ERA, a 4.65 ERA in 21 games with the Cardinals. And look, there was a point in time from 2019 to 2022 where he's one of the best relievers in the game. He had a sub-3 ERA. The strikeout rate was at 32%, but strikeout rate's lower. The walk rate's higher. He just hasn't been effective. So still early, but that definitely is a little bit of a disappointment for me. I was expecting a little more from Gallegos early on. Just the stuff hasn't looked as good as I had hoped, but still early on. But now we're going to go to all your questions. Anything you got? We're going to talk all things Dodger baseball. We're going to give out the comment of the show here on the 7th inning stretch.
The 7th inning stretch.
We have got a super chat from Abstract. That's a $2 super chat. Who looks best to get the 6th rotation spot? I mean, when everyone's healthy, I think it's probably going to be Tony Gonsolin. I think Tony Gonsolin, he looks sharp. It's a normal offseason for him. He's not really rehabbing anymore just because he was very close to going for the Dodgers in the last postseason. I think with Dustin May, you're going to see a hybrid-ish role with some starts as well. But I would say my answer to that would be Tony Gonsolin right now. And that's when Shohei Ohtani comes back. And that is with Roki Sasaki ramping up. And Tyler Glasnow and Blake Snell and Yoshinobu Yamamoto staying healthy. And then Clayton Kershaw will be back at some point too. We've got a MG is Panda Express having their Dodger win deal. That is a question that needs to be answered. I'm not so sure. I think there's some talks that maybe we are also possibly in the mix of Panda Express. I love Panda Express. To me, it is right up there for me. I got In-N-Out, McDonald's, Panda Express. I mean, that is kind of a big 3 for fast food restaurants. I don't know what you guys think about my list right there, but it's Panda Express is underrated. Does not get the love it gets. So yeah, we got just another person says Hope reminds me of a young Puig. BT Founts, D-Mac, you always have the best balance of being relatable to the players while also asking great questions. Never had a bad interview with you. Wow, I really appreciate that, BT Founts. That really means a lot, man. Honestly, I love talking to these players. I mean, honestly, I'm like you guys. Honestly, I'm like obviously I do this for a living, and I spent a lot of time researching this stuff, but hey, at the end of the day, I'm a fan at heart, man. And I'm curious about this stuff, and it's really cool to see these guys open up about certain things that allow them to be good players and dealing with struggles. And they're like the rest of us, man, ups and downs, and they're just trying to do their very best. And it is really cool to see that side of these players for sure. NS, calling D-Mac, sir, LOL, D-Mac, the OG now. That threw me off, bro. You know, honestly, I almost was going to ask Noel to edit that out, man. I'm not trying to get that ung status, bro.
You hit an ung status already, man.
No, I would edit that out. No, but I appreciate that. Now, next time I interview Hope, I'm going to call him sir, okay? We're going to switch things up. BT Founts, watching young ball players being all wide-eyed and excited. Spring training never gets old. Yeah, absolutely. I got a chance to talk to Paula and Jack Dreyer. We're dropping more interviews today and tomorrow too, and they're very, very excited. Carmen Alexander, love your hat, D-Mac. Yeah, hey, join that Dodgers Nation Discord. We're going to be doing some hats. Millen 15, let's not forget Rosario almost killed Yamamoto in Washington last season. Thankfully, Yamamoto is a ninja assassin. Yeah, who can forget those quick reactions from Yamamoto? I almost forgot that, but that's a great thing to bring up. MG likes my top three: Panda, In-N-Out, McDonald's. Noel, give me your top three real quick. Give me your top three, Noel.
I'm going to go In-N-Out, I'm going to go Chipotle, and I'm going to go Raising Cane's. Boom.
Ooh, I'm going to give you a nice little fire take for that one. Fire take for that one. The Raising Cane's. I like the players doing the Raising Cane's thing. I've only been there like once or twice. I mean, it hasn't hit for me that much.
You definitely need the sauce and an extra bread.
Yeah, is that the key there? How about drop your top three fast food restaurants down below? We got Alex Ranteria, D-Mac. No one was more respected than Justin Turner, and the Dodgers moved away from him. Why can't they do that with CT3? It's a fantastic point. I mean, just kind of alluding to that. I don't think they're above that for sure. I don't think so, but I do think that they are going to give him a little bit of a runway, a little bit of an opportunity to see if he can prove that. Reno San says Panda Express is more overrated than Bronny G. Oh, wow. Reno says Panda Express is more overrated than Bronny James and G League stats. Going to give you a finish in for that. Respect the trash talk right there. I respect the trash talk. Yeah, my preseason theory was that Bronny James was going to retire before LeBron James, but he has turned around a little bit. He had that moment, I guess it was in Utah, right? A nice little step back. Metal Rules V, Jack in the Box, Del Taco, and Wendy's. Okay, I'm feeling it. Hector Munoz says King Taco, Habit Burger, and Canes. There you go. Some love for your Canes over there. Grizzly 117 says Roki of the Year. MG is Panda Express. Okay, so let's read some more. Jimmy Loeb says In-N-Out, Tommy's Burger, and Shake Shack for sure. Jesse Gonzalez, I talked to DV a couple times during spring training. Great dude. Love me some DV, and best in the game for sure. Mookie Magic. Remember, guys, Roki is still a prospect, and his stuff is still raw. Also, we are only paying him $6.5 million. All that aside, he will be a great player given some time. That is a great point there. Melvin says Jack in the Box tacos, my ultimate guilty pleasure. Yeah, something about that meat, man. Can't even describe it. Either you like it, or you love it. I'm here for it. You know how I make Jack in the Box tacos? I don't even touch the edges. I flip it. I just take 3 big bites of the meat part and I just throw it away.
So you eat it the long way, basically.
Yeah.
You eat Jack in the Box tacos the long way.
Yeah, I'll bring one in for you guys. That's how I get down with it. But for the comment of the show today, we got MG says Ibe Mizuhara's court photo should be the new bruh. That's our comment of the show. I don't know if we're gonna do that. I don't think Jose Gear says, D-Mac, how can I get a job at Dodgers Nation? I'll clean the office and go on coffee and torta runs. I'll do whatever. Okay, that'll be my next comment of the show from Jose Geary. Okay, guys, so running out of time here, so let's hit the walk-off.
The walk-off.
So today on the walk-off, the Yankees continue to make changes this offseason. The Yankees will play Frank Sinatra's version of the theme show from New York, New York, only after home wins instead of after all games in the Bronx. That goes to the original thing that was set by the tradition that was set by George Steinbrenner in 1980. So that was very fun to see the Dodgers celebrate that World Series, and you had New York, start spreading the news. You had New York play in the background, Dodgers players celebrating that World Series, but you're not going to have that anymore. You're not going to have that anymore, and they are going to be playing a different arrangement. So that's very strange to me. I mean, the Yankees are changing traditions this offseason. We've already seen them make an amendment to that beard policy where now they can have well-groomed beards. So now you got the well-groomed beards. That is new, right? They are not playing the Frank Sinatra, New York. The Dodgers absolutely broke the Yankees in that World Series. The Dodgers absolutely broke their mystique, their aura. I mean, what is happening with the Yankees? You lose to the Dodgers once, you had that embarrassing fifth inning, and you're making all these changes. It has to be about it. By the way, I don't know if you saw this meme right here. This one had me laughing. This is from a NASA podcast. It says, Yankees went 1 year of seeing Alex Verdugo without a beard and changed their whole policy. This one says, how did the beard somehow make them lose even more aura? I personally think that Devin Williams walked into spring training and they made the decision right then and there to change the policy because you can't have a closer with negative aura, right? I mean, you have to certainly do that, but that's strange to me. Come on, Yankees. I want to see the old Yankees back. I want to see the old Yankees. By the way, Frank Sinatra was a Dodgers fan. He was a Dodgers fan. He did a whole song about Ebbets Field. There was a park out there. So let's not forget that. But that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell, hit the like button. Also, join the Discord, hit the Discord channel. Make sure you subscribe to The Big Lead. We'll be going live in a little bit, so be sure to do that. Remember also, nothing brings together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.